Welcome back to the Rundown Lab, where we break down and fact-check the biggest health podcasts. We know your time is valuable, but when you can, we always recommend catching the full episode. Links are in the description. Here's a surprising fact. There's a common food additive that actually raises your blood sugar faster than table sugar itself. It's called Maltodextrin, and it's hiding in everything from baby formula to your protein powder. But is it really as dangerous as some claim? Let's dig into the science. In a recent video, Dr. Berg discussed maltodextrin and modified food starch, arguing that this ingredient is uniquely harmful to metabolic health. He made some bold claims about its effects on blood sugar, gut health, and chronic disease. So let's separate fact from exaggeration. Let's start with what the video got right, because the core science here is actually solid. The central claim that maltodextrin raises blood sugar more than table sugar is accurate and well established. Maltodextrin has a glycemic index between 85 and 105, while regular table sugar sits around 65. This happens because maltodextrin is essentially a chain of glucose molecules that your digestive enzymes can break apart very quickly, flooding your bloodstream with sugar faster than sucrose can. The basic biochemistry presented is also correct. Starch is indeed made of glucose chains, and when you refine and partially break down that starch into maltodextrin, you get something your body can digest extremely rapidly, which triggers a corresponding insulin response. The video also accurately identified where you'll find maltodextrin: gluten-free products, baby formulas, baked goods, sports nutrition supplements. This is easily verified by checking ingredient labels, and the economic points hold up too. Industrial maltodextrin really does cost around 20 cents per pound in bulk, and corn production in the United States genuinely is heavily subsidized, which keeps those costs low. Now here's where things get more complicated. The video makes several claims that contain kernels of truth, but are presented in ways that overstate the evidence. Take the claim that maltodextrin causes insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, fatty liver, and visceral fat accumulation. There's real research showing that chronic overconsumption of high glycemic carbohydrates is associated with these metabolic conditions. But here's the key nuance. Attributing these complex, multifactorial diseases to one carb alone significantly overstates what the science shows. Total caloric intake, overall diet patterns, physical activity, genetics, and many other factors all play major roles. Maltodextrin consumed occasionally, or in the context of sports nutrition, doesn't independently cause these conditions. Similarly, the gut health claims are partially supported but oversold. Research has indeed shown that maltodextrin can impair certain antimicrobial responses in the gut and may promote adhesion of some pathogenic bacteria. A 2015 study found it enhanced biofilm formation by bacteria associated with Crohn's disease. However, most of these studies were conducted in test tubes or animal models, not humans eating normal dietary amounts. The word destroys, as in destroys beneficial bacteria, is stronger than the evidence supports. May adversely alter would be more accurate. The inflammation claims follow a similar pattern. There is research suggesting maltodextrin has pro-inflammatory potential, particularly in gut tissue, and high glycemic diets generally are linked to elevated inflammatory markers. But calling it one of the most inflammatory carbs on the planet is hyperbolic. We simply don't have the comparative research to make that ranking. And the specific claim about joint pain appears to be extrapolated from general inflammation research rather than direct evidence. The cholesterol claim about small, dense LDL particles is mechanistically plausible. High glycemic, high carbohydrate diets can shift lipid profiles in unfavorable directions. But the phrase creates them in a heartbeat dramatically overstates both the speed and certainty. These lipid changes develop with chronic dietary patterns over time, not from occasional consumption. Now for the red flags. The consumption statistic stands out as the most problematic claim. The video suggests people consume between 65 and 250 pounds of maltodextrin annually. That fourfold range is itself a red flag, suggesting this isn't from rigorous dietary survey data. In reality, maltodextrin consumption isn't tracked separately in nutrition databases. This figure likely conflates all refined starches or corn-derived products with maltodextrin specifically. Americans do consume large amounts of refined carbohydrates, but the specific maltodextrin number appears unreliable. So what's the bottom line? This video identifies legitimate concerns about excessive refined carbohydrate consumption that are supported by research. The core biochemistry is accurate, and there are real questions worth asking about maltodextrin's effects on gut health and metabolism. However, the presentation uses dramatic language like destroys and in a heartbeat that exceeds what the evidence actually supports. It attributes complex diseases to a single ingredient when the reality is far more nuanced. If you're trying to improve your metabolic health, reducing highly processed foods and refined carbohydrates generally is reasonable advice. But viewing maltodextrin as uniquely toxic compared to other refined starches isn't well supported by current research. Context, dose, and overall dietary patterns matter enormously.